Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We are the defenders of American Exceptionalism. Those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Dylan Lyles. Guy on the other end of the mic over there is Aaron Priest.
Hello.
And we are here to entertain, enlighten, encourage you. We might even send you, psychically free stuff. But only psychically, because that's the only thing our lawyers will allow us to do.
Yeah.
They're kind of frowning if I know that part a little bit. They're strict. Them lawyers are strict, man.
Well, the accountants also have a say in that.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about them. Somebody who shall remain nameless might have some alimony they're going to have to pay up if we're not careful. So, but it is 2017, y'all. 2017, a new year with a new show, new faces, new voices. So it is a lot. Hopefully, it is 2017 will be as amazing as a lot of us are hoping for. I know I have high hopes. Because let's be honest, 16 was kind of left something to be desired.
Yeah, it kind of set the bar low.
A little bit low. Low might be a not.
Which honestly, I think.
Enough.
Yeah, I think the bar's been lowered, gradually over the last. I would say 8 years, but some could argue 16. Some could argue 24. Some could argue all the way back to the 1980s, so
that
about 88.
Yeah, it's just been rough, But spring or hope springs eternal. We have a new year's. There's a lot of possibilities, and kind of the world is our burrito. So nothing but change coming in the future. Good change, bad change. Speaking of changes. I have heard through the grapevine, a little bird told me, and actually
a lot of little birds.
They
tweeted.
They did. The tweeted.
Yes.
Apparently, there's some changes going on at Fox.
Couple big changes. One huge change, and then one really big change that isn't getting as much attention as the really huge change. So, Greta Van Susteren and Megyn Kelly are both leaving Fox News.
Aww.
Yeah, I know. It's devastating. Greta is going to MSNBC because apparently she likes swimming with sharks. And Megyn Kelly is going to NBC without the MS.
Just regular NBC.
Yes, just regular NBC. The original communist. So
we needed to make sure that was thrown out there and clear.
Yeah.
The original communist, because
yes,
if it wasn't the original,
not the mainstream.
Yes, we don't want.
That's what the MS and MSNBC is.
See, you learn. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm learning something new. So yeah, that's. So I don't know. I'm sure for me personally, that's a crazy switch, because as far back as I've ever known, watching the 24-hour news cycle that is, Fox and CNN and all those Megyn Kelly's always been there.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a little weird.
So has Greta. So is Greta, and it's going to be a little weird, at least for me personally. And I don't do change very well. Not when I'm not knowing it's coming, Yeah.
And I didn't.
Honestly,
nobody saw it coming.
I stopped watching Fox News around the primary, I guess towards the end of the primary, when everything started to just be constant, just sucking up to Trump. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong. If you like your candidate, that's great. Talk him up. But on a news network, at least try to show some kind of impartial attitude. I mean, don't make it so clear as what your bias is.
Yeah, I used to watch. I watched them often. Of course, you're talking to a guy who never really had cable or access to it, so I didn't watch it very often. And when I did, I watched it because I was bored. But they were better off. Just the things you do when you're bored, and watching CNN was not one of them. But no, I at least agreed for the most part with how they were, and I agree with you when not that I was religiously watching it, but I kind of gave up on watching them once the primary hit, because then it was, like you said, it was nonstop Trump. And again, if that's your guy, that's cool. The problem I have is, and it's what I have with everybody as a whole right now, whether you voted for him or not, whether you're happy with the decision or not, it is what it is. It's time for us to, be adults, and if your guy won, let's act like an adult and move on. And if your guy lost, time to put on your big girl panties or big boy panties, and you need to grow up, and let's move on.
It's what we all had to do for the last 8 years, the last 2 elections. And don't get me wrong, I have several friends that voted for Trump. I have a few friends that voted for Hillary. I personally voted third party. Not that it matters or anything, but I voted for Evan McMullin. And I did that.
Traitor! You're a traitor!
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
If anybody is ever looking to get a hold of him, he is on Twitter at AFVET. That's VETTE03. He's on the Twitter. Get him, people. Get him.
Yes. Send me your hate mail. I love to have fun with that.
Dude, bless your hearts. But I didn't vote. I didn't vote for him either. I'm the type that, like what you said, my principles, his flip-flopping, there was a lot of things that I just didn't agree, and I could not bring myself to do it. I couldn't go that route. However, that's not to say that like when Obama came in, I'm giving Trump the benefit of doubt. Clean slate. Here's his chance to show us, the American people, is he going to live up to what he said and what he promised?
And that's the key thing. And we all know during campaigns that people lie. All right, it's sure shooting. So at this point, the campaign's over, the election's over. Our president-elect has been selected or elected, whatever. And I know that's probably going to get twisted out of contortion. Mm-hmm. But
we're going to get letters now.
Yeah. So we have our new president-elect. It's time to deal with it. All right. It's time to accept that fact and move forward and hope for the best. Not even for him. Okay. You don't have to like him. You can go on hating him. You can wear your F Trump shirts, whatever. But the fact is, he is our next president. And whether we like it or not, he will take that office. And we should be hoping and praying or talking to the flying spaghetti monster, hoping that Trump is actually going to do good for us and for America.
Yep. But that's the what it boils out to is we need to. He, like you said, he's going to be in office. There's nothing we can do about it. The celebrities, I don't know, and Aaron, you've looked at them a couple times. Everyone that's heard this probably has seen or at least heard about these videos that the people in Hollywood have decided to take upon themselves to they felt that they needed to have their voice heard.
Yeah, they need to make their demands to Congress.
Demands, yes, that's the new one. It's for a slight recap for those of you that may not have been aware of it. Assorted actors and actresses, and not even really good ones, mostly B, C, D, LMNOP class actors and actresses. God knows we don't want to leave anybody out and get letters about that either. But they did a video in the beginning. The first video they did was to try and convince the American people to vote for Hillary over Donald Trump. And obviously, as we all know, Donald Trump won the election. Just a tad. Congratulations to him. Now, the second video they decided to come out with was just before the Electoral College officially voted. And their video there was hoping and a plea to the Electoral College of how they have the right to not vote for Trump as the rules and whatnot in their state may have said they had to do. And we all know what happened there. The Electoral College did exactly what it was supposed to do. It voted, lines as the states that they represent told them to. Now, as a form of desperation, these celebrities, and I use the term loosely, out of this video, I will say that I've only recognized maybe 3 of the 12 to 15 people. But
in his defense, Martin Sheen was in a John Wayne movie.
Well, Martin Sheen also played the president in The West Wing.
Yes, he did.
So I guess he feels he has some kind of a say. But in this particular one, there was only 3 that I recognized, and out of the other movies too, there was a couple of them that I recognized as well. But again, it wasn't very many. It really wasn't very many. But now this particular video that they've come out with now is these celebrities. Again, I'm using the term loosely because most of their careers are either non-existent or have
over the hill
out. Yes,
on the downward slope.
Sorry, Miss Perez. Anyway, now they're demanding, as to quote one of them, demanding that Congress block anything and everything that Trump. Well, anything and everything that Trump does. At first they say that, and then they turn around and throw in qualifiers, which is anything that would be, racial or xenophobic or anti-Muslim or anti-worker, anti-environmental. That one was my favorite, by the way. All of these crazy little things, and then they ended it by saying, we are the majority. No, you're not. You
not even close.
No,
they are literally the epitome of the 1% of the 1%.
Yes, that's what I was getting ready to go into. That these people average what we can comfortably say any, and this is anybody that does acting in Hollywood averages what? Let's say let's say fair $1 million, $1 million per gig. Aaron, when was the last time you had a gig that paid you $1 million?
I think it was on the third Tuesday of Blue.
See,
yeah.
New Year's was more recent than mine. Darn it. Anyway, see, but they're outside. They're so far detached from real America, and then they have the nerve to go, well, we're with you. We're part of it. We're the majority. In your head, you're the majority. Shut up.
Here's the part that blows my mind is the double standard, because these people who are criticizing and tearing down a president who hasn't even taken office yet some of them are the same ones who made a video when Obama was elected saying, I pledge allegiance to the president. Now, anyone who knows just a slight bit of history knows that George Washington was the first president.
No.
And yes.
Shut up. I got to write this down. I'm learning some stuff today.
There are a couple books about it. But
one or two.
One or two. So he was actually originally offered essentially to be the king. But knowing that we fought the Revolutionary War to get away from a monarchy, he obviously opted out of that and said no president should hold more than 2 terms in office. So he served his 2 terms and then left office and let the tradition carry on. Of course, I say that to go back to the point that these people are saying I pledge allegiance to my president, talking, of course, about Obama. We have lifted that office up to a level that it should have never gotten to. Mm-hmm. We have given the position so much power and so much such an ability to affect our daily lives, and it's not supposed to be that way. That is not how our founders intended it to be.
Nope. It should not. It was never intended to be a level of authority. The actual term for president at the time, when it was given, actually was what they equated to a servant. Like literally, that when you hear politicians say, "Well, we're here to serve the people," that's back when the founders founded, America and came up with our Constitution and everything else. That's what president meant, was you were an actual servant. You were last in line. You were there for the benefit of the people, not for you, not for your buddies. You were there to better the nation as a whole, and to be that face and that leader that they needed without being in charge, without having the authority of the monarchy.
Yeah, the original intent was for us to govern the government. It is supposed to be a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Therefore, we, the people, are the ones that are supposed to dictate what the government is able to do, and we are the ones that are supposed to set the boundaries. But the tables have turned, and
we've gotten soft.
Yeah, well, and we can get further into that. We can jump down that rabbit hole another time. With progressivism and the whole progressive movement and all that stuff, and the effects that it's had on our country, our society, and everything else. But yeah, it's
always fun. That's a fun one to go down.
It'll take
us days to unpack all that, but I'm with you on it. It's just what we've to touch on it before we get off of this entirely is it irritates me because, like you said, this is not how it was intended to be. We were not supposed to be here. We were supposed to govern ourselves. We were supposed to tell our congressmen and those that have gone on to be in the government, they're supposed to be working for us. But as time has gone on, we have become lazy. We have allowed them to take a little bit at a time and a little bit at a time, to the point where now they're controlling everything. And we're just so used to it that we have to, or we don't even have to, that we feel we have to just let it roll and keep on going, because no, it's just the way it is and you can't change nothing. And that just chaps my tail when I hear people say that. It's like, yes, we can change it if you decide to change it.
Yep.
I don't know. Bless their hearts. Bless their hearts. I don't know what we're going to do, man. Sometimes you just want to slap somebody repeatedly.
Yeah, and that actually brings me. It makes me think about something else that I was talking about earlier. Is the whole attitude that has become so prevalent today in social media? It's absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, it doesn't. You could post a picture of a basket of puppies, and if you have 100 comments, at least one of them is going to be somebody out there with something negative to say. Oh, you probably got those from a puppy mill. Just shut up. Why do you have to be a Debbie Downer? What? We don't always have to have a negative Nancy. Just give yourself a hug and just shut up.
Or find someone else to give you a hug. I'm sure. I'm sure someone somewhere will hug
maybe
you.
that's the thing. Maybe that's the thing. They're tired of hugging themselves and they need somebody else to join in.
They want to feel human contact. They need to feel someone else, skin on skin.
Well, if that's the case, they need to take their attitude off of Facebook and Twitter and go over to Match.com or eHarmony.
I think that's a felony in certain states. Some of those people are probably not allowed to be within like 600 feet of a computer.
Maybe. But I don't know. Well, according to the commercials, that creepy guy from eHarmony just travels around and tries to sell his product to random waitresses. So,
just sounded so creepy. Just saying it like that just sounded creepy.
Yeah, it sounded better in my head.
It did. Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So carrying on.
We're gonna bypass that one, and we're gonna take a break here, and we are going to regroup and clean ourselves up. When we come back, got a fun story about a school in Kentucky who apparently thinks their mascot is too sexist. Wait until you hear this one, because this is gonna be fun. And the best part is this is in Aaron's backyard.
Oh yeah, I'm a Kentucky boy, so
it's hard. We can't all be perfect, but we will be right back. You are listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on Lanterns Media Network. Hey, look, they actually came back, Aaron. Shocked, thought we scared people away. There's these people. We were hoping you would be back, and I said, no, they're not coming back. But here you are. So this is good. This is good. Welcome back.
Thank God for low standards, right?
I know. They say you keep that bar low and no one gets hurt unless you trip over it.
Exactly.
We are the Defenders of American Exceptionalism. Again, my name is Dylan Lyles. That other guy over there is Aaron Priest.
That's me.
That is him. You could reach us on Facebook. That'd be facebook.com/Defenders of American Exceptionalism. You can also find myself and Aaron on Facebook as well, each with our respective names. I am also on the Twitter at Dylan Lyles, and you will also find Aaron at AF Vet. That's Vet as in the Corvette, VETTE03. And you will also get us the show itself, Defenders of American Exceptionalism, on Twitter at DOAE Show. So drop us a line, tell us how bad we suck, tell us how awesome we are.
We love constructive criticism, especially when it's not constructive.
Or criticism, for that matter.
Yes.
Drop us a line. It doesn't have to be anything relative at all. It could, just come by and random pictures that have nothing to do with anything we talk about or anything. We don't care. We're, again, as Aaron alluded to, our standards are kind of low. So, can't be as low as some people's. So, but Speaking of low standards and the new year and stupid people and
yes,
Aaron,
this makes me proud.
What is up with your state, dude? What is
I have no idea.
For those of you that don't, hold on, no, shh. For those of you that are not aware, I have to preface this before he starts. Our beloved Aaron is from Kentucky. Now, I have nothing against Kentucky whatsoever. I have driven through it many, many times. I'm trying to think of the town that we stopped at. I think it was not Gaston. Is it Gaston? Right there on the border. Anyway, we used to stop there when I was younger, traveling through to go to St. Louis and see family. So I like Kentucky, driving past Louisville and going, oh, look, that's where the baseball bats are made. You know, that was always fun, you know. So I had fairly fond memories of the, 6 hours or whatever it took to cross the state. I'm beginning, those memories are beginning to fade.
Yeah, there's times that I'm extra proud of my state, and then there's times that I try to divert and push it and, get people to think that I'm actually from South Carolina, because that's where I was stationed for 4 years. There's pros and cons to anywhere that you're going to live, and I can tell you right now that Kentucky has a lot of pros. It's a beautiful, beautiful state to live in. We have a new governor, Matt Bevin. I know a lot of people probably know the name. He ran against Mitch McConnell in 2014 for the Senate.
He should have won that, by the way.
He should have. But too many people were... I think people wanted to see Mitch McConnell take that majority leader position. They wanted Kentucky, I guess, to have that. Honestly, I couldn't wrap my head around the rationale that people used. So, but
just so you know, that was the day Kentucky was died to me. If you would look at a map in my head, if you looked at a map, there would be a dark hole where Kentucky was at that moment. Just so you know, so we're all on the same page. You can
as much as I love my state, I felt the same way. So, but everything happens for a reason. That's what I keep telling myself. And in 2015, Bevin was elected as our governor and has done a pretty good job so far, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, he's good. Now.
I mean, he's ruffled a lot of feathers. A lot of people, get a little upset, but. Because it turns out that when you promise to cut spending and then you cut spending, that spending cut tends to, spend less money.
Wait. I
know.
Hold on. Wait, let me get this clear. If you cut spending, that means you stop spending money at the rate and the amount that you were doing.
Yes, that's the scientific explanation.
Do you save that money?
Yeah, that money that was being spent on, let's say, entitlement programs or anything really.
That's oddly specific.
Yeah. Well, just to name something that people might begin to notice. So yeah, there are a lot of feathers that have been ruffled, and understandably, most of the people that are upset about it are people who didn't vote for him. So, I mean, obviously,
they kind of rationale nowadays.
They kind of, I guess they have some reason, but
sore loser syndrome is what that sounds like.
Yeah, well, a lot of it is the misinformation. You have so many people that have gotten it in their head that the world works a certain way, and then whenever reality comes to hit them in the face, they put on their safety pin and sit back and scream until somebody comes and gives them a baba.
I'm wearing my safety pin, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, I've got like 10 of them. I got one that's custom engraved, but we'll save that for another day.
Yeah, that's another story.
So back to the original story.
Yes.
In Kentucky, in Lexington, one of arguably the horse capital in America.
Arguably.
It's where some of the most top dollar Kentucky Derby winning horses are raised, and my wife could give a better 2 cents on that because she's the horse person in the family, but I've picked up a bit here and there in conversation. So there's a high school in Fayette County, which is where Lexington's located, that it's a new high school. They had initially chosen the stallion to be their school mascot.
That makes sense.
And within the first 24 hours, there was a petition that was set up and signed to say that that is not appropriate because it is too sexist.
Wait a minute. So a stallion.
It was offensive. Well, it was offensive because it was, I guess, the gender specificity.
There you go.
Yeah. Wow, I totally butchered that. Yeah. So, because a stallion, in case you didn't know, I'm not a doctor, I just play one on TV. A stallion is an uncut male horse. And in the process of coitus, the male, well, I think you can infer, where that goes from there.
Yeah.
So
most people who hear this show should know the birds and the bees by now. If you don't, don't come to us because we're not good at this.
Yeah, if you don't, then you probably lied on the agreement for that phone that you're listening to this on.
Pretty much.
So, so there are people that are just absolutely upset because the girls at that school might be called the Lady Stallions, which is an oxymoron because stallion is a male and lady is not.
Yeah, but, so they cancel each other out. I don't see what the big deal is, personally.
Well, I mean, I honestly, it would be one thing if all this whole topic wasn't so twisted so badly, but when we have 53 different genders now on social media that you can choose from, it's something like, the number keeps climbing by the day. So honestly, what is acceptable at this point? What is going to be fitting for everyone? Because there's too many options.
No, there is. There's too many options because and what it boils down to is everybody wants attention. Well, you can't get it, and we right now are living proof of that. We're doing a radio show. Well, how many people do radio shows? Let's be honest. We're not exactly blazing trails here, but you got to be different. You have to set yourself aside. You have to have a niche or something that makes you stand out. That is why there are 53 and counting different genders, because you can no longer be, just a transgender, or you can no longer be, the guy. You have to be something else. It has to be completely different. You have to separate yourself from the pack, the rest of the weirdos and the crazy people who are so desperate for attention, thank you social media, that they will do anything and everything to get a like and to stand out and to be different and to have people parade around them and make them feel special.
I remember growing up and hearing the phrase, "United we stand, divided we fall." And it seems like today in our society, it's like we're pushing and fighting to see just how much we can divide ourselves up into these subgroups.
Yep.
And it's with gender, it's with politics, it's with
religion.
Everything. Religion.
Yep. I don't understand it personally. I come from, for anybody, most people that know me, this is kind of a little tidbit into my world, in my life. I was homeschooled my entire life. The only time I ever went into a public school was for driver's ed and the 3 years I was in college. That was it. I've spent more time in school picking my oldest son up from his school than I've spent in my entire life. Okay? I don't understand. There are certain things in this world, like you were talking, it doesn't click. It doesn't make any sense to me. I can't grasp why in God's name we would want to sit here and find something to be pissed off at someone else about. And it's not like there's a genuine reason. I feel like we're digging. We're looking for that one thing to go, oh, you're different. I can't talk to you. I can't be a part of you. Where I come from in the life that I grew up with, you were looking for the teeniest little thing to be friends with that person.
Exactly. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier with social media and the people that you could post a picture of a basket of puppies, and you're going to have that one guy that has to stand up and say something stupid just for the sake of saying it, I guess. I honestly, I don't understand the logic behind it because there really is none.
No, but what bothers me, though, is that one guy that you're referring to apparently has procreated. Because it happens like it's not just one guy now. It's like there's several, hundreds, thousands. These people are everywhere now. And I don't know. I honestly do not know if it is because they feel they are protected because they're behind a screen of a computer.
I think that is a huge part of it.
It might be. I don't know.
The keyboard warriors with the Cheeto fingers in their mom's basement that's sitting down. And if you're listening to this and I offended you, sorry, but not sorry. You know where to send your hate mail. So the people that are sitting down in their mom's basement with the Cheetos all over their fingers, that are sitting there talking, they'll get on there and they'll go to an athlete's page. You know, a prime example. UFC 207 was this past weekend. Ronda Rousey fought. She lost in 48 seconds. She was TKO'd. Mm-hmm. And everybody wants to jump online and talk about, oh, Ronda Rousey, she's a horrible fighter. She needs to learn how to strike. She was the longtime reigning UFC champion. She was the first women's champion in the UFC, the absolute highest level that you can compete in mixed martial arts, the UFC. And people that are sitting there with probably 30% body fat or more have the audacity to say that a professional UFC fighter has any flaws in their striking game. Really? Really?
Well, that's where people lost it at that point too. Is they're not looking at what, and I saw that fight. My brother in Vegas was nice enough to FaceTime me, or not FaceTime me, Facebook Live it for me, and so I did get to see that fight. My just 2 cents real quick on that was, I don't think it had nothing to do with her striking. It had nothing to do with her ability. Like you said, she was undefeated. She up until not that fight, but the fight before, her last fight before that, she was
411 days before that.
Yeah, and who's counting? She was undefeated. She was the best of the best of the best of the best.
And all it took was that one head kick, and it changed her mental game.
Yes, that's what I was getting ready to get at. She became so wrapped up in her self-confidence that she was literally at a point where she believed she was invulnerable.
And when well, she surrounded herself with yes men.
Gee, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Anyway, but yeah, she surrounded herself with these yes people, and she believed her own lie to the extent that when she discovered, that she is not a god, that she is actually mortal, that she does bleed, it broke her, and she has not been able to pull back from that since. She just hasn't. That was my thing on that fight. But no, I agree with you. It's people think they know everything about everything, and
that's the thing. And we can sit here and we can say, it was her mental game. We could pick apart and dissect what may have caused her to lose, but in the end, it still boils down to the fact that she could literally cut her right leg and arm off and still beat the piss out of both of us. Probably with a blindfold on. And
yeah, it wouldn't take much. I can't run very fast. You carry around the weight that I carry around. You just say screw it. We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, that's why I've got a truck. I've got a truck and a lot of guns. So that's why I don't run.
I do. I'm quickly getting those. Like I said, you get to a point in your life where you just go, you know what? I could work out and I could be skinny and thin, but that's a lot of maintenance. So I will.
Yes, it is.
I need something for my children to snuggle up to, and who likes to snuggle with a bag of bones? Anyway. It's just going back to this though. The insanity over all of this is just, it blows my mind when it just blows my mind. To sit here, going back to the story about the stallion and the mascot.
Yeah, sorry for the tangents.
Yeah,
it took a wild turn, but
this is what happens when you have a couple of vets sitting here talking. After a while, it just kind of goes out into left field.
Yeah, we start doing donuts in the front yard. So
pretty much, look, y'all need to be happy we caught ourselves and came back, because God knows where we'd have been. But when you read this stuff, Miss Diane Cahill, I believe, is this lovely person's name who did this petition on change.org, because we all know changes.org is a great place to go to.
Yes.
All right. Not that she's ever going to hear this. I wish she would. But she'll probably never hear the show.
Something tells me she's in an echo chamber right now.
I probably. Yeah. And if anybody happens to know a Diane Cahill who lives in Lexington, Kentucky, let her listen to this really fast. How do you need a hobby or a hug? Something?
Probably both.
I don't understand what it is that possesses a human being to stick their nose that far into someone else's business and to make that big of a deal. The petition that she put out, and I'm quoting from the petition itself, the stallion is inappropriate and sexist when you consider the definition from your dictionary, quote unquote. The definition of a stallion is a male horse, blah, blah, blah. We've already gone through all that. Long story short is, in this petition, she quotes, her points of reference are yourdictionary.com and Wikipedia.
And for anyone who thinks that those are valid sources, please try to use one of those as a source for a college essay.
Yeah,
let's see what your response is. Let's see what kind of responses you get.
I wouldn't have bought this really anyway, but I would have given her at least a little bit more credit if she had turned around and said, this was from, Merriam-Webster Dictionary Online, .com, whatever it is. I'm down for that. I would still think you're bat nuts crazy, but I can at least give you a little bit and go, all right, I can kind of, okay.
You can give some leeway and understand.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense to me, but, to each his own. When yourdictionary.com and Wikipedia are your points of reference into arguing why a school mascot needs to be removed, you need a day job. Something. Yeah. Collecting aluminum cans, feeding the homeless, picking flowers for blind kids. I don't care.
Go volunteer at a shelter.
Go, please. Do something. I mean, this is just, I don't know about you guys, but I have more important things to do with my time than to stick my nose into someone else's business, let alone someone.
Literally anything. Literally anything is more important.
I hate the dentist, but I could go for a root canal long before I would pull something like this.
My high school mascot was the Panthers. And
oh no! And so I know y'all got like tons of petitions to have that removed. Like that only lasted like what, a week, maybe?
Oh,
maybe.
Actually, no. I think that school's been open since my dad was in school at least. So however long that's been, but yeah, I never once thought, man, that offends me. I guess I was too busy. I don't know. Going to class or sleeping in class.
I was going to say, let's be honest. You were hitting on girls. That's what you were doing.
I was trying to figure out how I was going to get beer that night. So that's what I was fixated on.
There you go. See, this show, ladies and gentlemen, this show is all about honesty. We bring the truth out of an individual, and
oh yes,
we're
sometimes to the point of being brutal. But hey.
Self-degradation is usually a good thing.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. But yes, so that's that. So,
as Van Wilder said, don't take life too seriously. You'll never make it out alive.
And that apparently is the bar we have officially set for the show, is Van Wilder.
Yes. That's where I go to for my philosophy.
Most people have Confucius. Socrates. Apparently, Aaron goes to Van Wilder. So, to each his own, I suppose. So, yeah. There you go. All right, guys, we are going to take one more break, and we will be right back. You are listening to the Defenders of American Exceptionalism on Lanterns Media Network. Hey everybody, welcome back. We are the Defenders of American Exceptionalism. I'm Dylan, and that's Aaron.
And I'm Aaron.
I already said that. You interrupted me.
That's what I do best.
It's what we do, man. It's what we do.
So this is the last segment of the show, and we want to keep the show lighthearted. Like I said, don't take life too seriously. You'll never make it out alive. And while we try to educate some, it's also just kind of an opportunity to, share some of the stories of the day in a more lighthearted way. But we also want to find ways to inspire people, if at all possible. Even if we only reach one person that actually gains something from the message, then, it's worth it. So, with that said, I mentioned earlier about social media and all the negativity. I kind of have a challenge for everybody. I want everybody to, at least once a day, take a minute and try to do something positive. Even if it's just saying something nice to somebody that you typically don't get along with. Just the smallest little things, and kind of incrementally work your way up. But one quote that I like to live by is, be the change you want to see in the world. There's a lot of people that spend a lot of time on social media and complain about so many different things, whether they're trivial or massive. And it's one thing to sit back and complain, but it's another to stand up and do something about it. To stand up and take action, to like I said, be the change that you want to see. And Gandhi is the one that coined that phrase, but it's something that we should all strive to live by as individuals. And if we as individuals actually pick up that mindset, then collectively as a society, we will become more united and stronger. And we will begin to find the ground that we share in common rather than fixating on where we differ on everything. So that's my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth.
That was heartwarming.
I do my best.
I feel a tingle. We're gonna leave it tingling at that. No, you're right. You have to. That's the biggest problem. Is everyone can be. Everyone does. Thank you, social media and everything else. You always have everyone who's the armchair quarterback. But how many people are actually out there doing anything about it? How many people are actually trying to make a difference and see the change happen? Instead, they expect other people to do it. And that's kind of what Aaron and I are here doing. You know, like we had mentioned earlier in the show, we're not the only radio show. We're by far not the only radio show. You can listen to thousands upon thousands of different types of shows, of podcasts, of anything like that. And we are, you know, we're doing it as well. But we're trying to make that change. We're trying to educate and encourage and entertain people, and all into one giant loop, instead of sitting here complaining about how horrible and stupid people are. We're trying to fix that.
That's the thing about the advances in technology that we have today, is we no longer have to rely on Fox News or CNN or MSNBC or NBC or CNBC or any of the other alphabet soup. We have social media now, and that's where everyone turns to. I mean, I challenge everyone to take a second, look in your phone under your battery, and see what has the most usage, because I would be willing to bet that the majority of people, the majority of their usage is on social media, whether it be Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn or...
Oh, you can't never get away from LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah. Even if you don't sign up for it, you still have to opt out of it 26 times.
LinkedIn I'm telling you, LinkedIn is a bottomless pit.
They take hold of your soul, but
anyway,
yeah. But that's the thing, is that journalism has, in the eyes of a lot of people, it's evolved to the point that honestly, we're all in some ways journalists, and what we post on social media, that's being, it should say publish instead of post. I mean, that's because you're publishing an article, whether you realize it or not, even if it's just a small little post. I mean, you are publishing something, and that's on the internet forever.
Yep. There's, like you said, there's no more gatekeepers. You don't have to, even 5 years ago, we couldn't do this. I mean, those of you, give y'all a little bit of inside baseball. I'm in North Carolina. Aaron is in Kentucky. We're doing this through a couple of microphones and a couple of little programs, and ta-da! We've got a show that we are posting on the internet that literally, not that we're lucky enough to have this, but literally billions of people have access to.
We are basically doing the same thing that Rush Limbaugh, Mark Levin, Glenn Beck, all these other big. Well, obviously, we're not doing it to their level.
We wish one day.
I'm not trying to say that we're in that same basket.
Watch out, Glenn. We're
in the same We're in the same factory of baskets.
Yes.
So
exactly.
But
that's we have just as much of a reach, the ability. Let me rephrase that. And this is where a lot of people get confused about what America really is. We have the exact same opportunity right now as all these big name guys do. Now, just like America is, doesn't necessarily mean we're going to have the exact same result. But by God doesn't mean we're not going to try.
Exactly.
And
And that's the whole thing about equality is people are looking at it wrong. It's not a matter of getting the same results. It's having the same opportunity to achieve the same results.
Yep. I mean, like I said, 5 years ago, this could not be done. We couldn't be doing this. You would have had to. We would have had to have gone to school, minimum of 4 years. Not counting if you had to go in any other kind of specialty, and then God knows about internships and everything else. You know, you're talking anywhere from 8 to 10 years just to get in. You know, to have the opportunity to have a show, and thanks to the internet and Facebook and any other social medias. I mean, two veterans are sitting here and have a show. I mean, I'm sorry, but anybody that says that America isn't great or wasn't great, you're an idiot, and you just need to sit down and shut up. Seriously,
pretty much.
Be done. I'm done. I'm gonna get worked up, and it's gonna aggravate me, and my wife's gonna be mad. So I don't know.
But no, that's. See, there you go, being a negative Nancy.
I know.
You're looking at the downside.
We just cover that ground. The glass half
something
full.
So positive.
I know.
So positive that we all have the opportunity to do something that just a few years ago would have been nearly impossible unless somehow you were discovered by a big name. And now anyone has that opportunity. All you have to do is have an internet connection, pretty much.
Some of us have better ones than others, but
yes.
I'm not saying any names. Aaron.
Yeah. That's one of the side effects to living out here in Mayberry. So
I'm going to leave that alone. We're going to go ahead and end this show. We appreciate y'all listening. Again, you can reach us facebook.com/Defenders of American Exceptionalism. You can reach myself at Twitter. I'm at Dylan Lyles. Aaron is at AFVET. That's VETTE03. You can also reach the show where we both have access to it. We'll both answer fairly quickly and as often as possible. We like to dialogue and talk with you guys. Is at DOAE Show. Again, you can also find us on Facebook at the same names. Dylan Lyles on Facebook, Aaron Priest on Facebook. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate it, and we will see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Bye.